Mr. Wardle, the Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Treasurer. There are two items for decision. The first one is at Board Books 346 and deals with the proposed mental health strategy implementation task force. I don't think I need to take much of Convocation's time with this. You'll recall that in April, we approved a Law Society strategy to address mental health, wellness, and addiction issues. That report is at tab 5.2 in your materials, and you'll see at the end of that report at page 7, it was contemplated that there would be a mental health strategy implementation task force of no more than 5 benchers to provide guidance on implementation-related issues. The Treasurer is proposing to have such an implementation committee, and you'll see the names of the proposed members are set out at page 347 of Board Books. The terms of reference are set out in paragraph 9, which simply, and I won't take you through it, but it's consistent with the recommendations of the April report, and the motion which I am moving, and I'll just ask for a seconder, is at page 346.
I saw Mr. Goldblatt's hand go up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions on that? In the room or on the
The
telephone?
conference is no longer in lecture mode.
No questions? Then we'll put this to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. Any opposed on the telephone? Thank you, Mr. Wardle. The motion's carried.
Thank you, Treasurer. The second matter for decision is found at Board Books at page 353, and it deals with the establishment of a task force to undertake a review of and make recommendations regarding respecting the Law Society's governance structure, with terms of reference and membership of the task force is set out in the report. Just a little bit of background here. You'll recall that our strategic plan for 2015-2019 has some specific priorities that deal with improving governance, and they're set out in the materials at paragraph 11. One of those was part 3, to review the Law Society's governance structure, including achieving the goals of transparency, inclusiveness, effectiveness, efficiency, and cost, and where appropriate, obtain the opinions of experts. So for the governance review under this particular part of the strategic plan, the Treasurer has determined that a task force should be created to undertake this work. The priority in the strategic plan is quite broadly stated. The Treasurer proposes that the work of the task force be organized in stages. The first stage would consider sort of practical process issues, how convocation and committees work, at agenda planning, the type, size, and numbers of committees and frequency of meetings. Recommendations would be reported to convocation as the work progresses. And then concurrently with the work that I've just described, the task force would undertake research on and review governance models here and abroad, including other professions. And that research would set the stage for an examination of fundamental governance structural issues, which may include how convocation is constituted, the current composition of convocation, and the size of convocation. And then following what we could call the research phase, the task force would report to convocation on what it proposes as the broad areas of focus for the next stage of its study. It would then begin that work, which would involve detailed review and assessment of the governance issues, and the task force would then report to convocation with recommendations. And so you'll see that the way this has been set up is that the task force will be coming back to convocation at regular intervals as it goes about its work. I should point out, you'll see in paragraph 18, there are various governance-related issues that have arisen in the context of venture elections and through the work of some committees, and those would be folded into this process. It's also envisaged that members of Convocation would be engaged both individually and collectively for input at various stages of the committee's work. Expenditures for the initiative will be driven largely by external expertise the task force believes is necessary to support its work, and there is funding in the proposed consulting budget of $200,000 for 2017 for the implementation of strategic plan initiatives. At paragraph 21, you'll see the proposed composition of the task force with the very able Janet Leeper as the chair. And I'm pleased to serve on this task force under Janet's guidance. And then you'll see at paragraph 22 the proposed terms of reference. So unless there are any questions, the motion again is at page 353, and I'll move the motion, and I just need a seconder. So seconded by
Mr. Troyster, I saw.
Mr.
Put up his
Troyster.
hand fast.
Moving things along.
Any comments or questions on this? To Mr. Wardle and, if necessary, to me? Any on the phone?
The conference is no longer in lecture mode.
Questions on the phone? Hearing silence, and I'll put the matter to a vote. All in favor? Opposed, if any? On the telephone? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you, Mr. Wardle.
Thank you very
The
much,
conference
Treasurer.
is in lecture mode.